Hi, I'm Kirti Sehrawat and this is Sourcing from India podcast. I help business owners source amazing products from India without the guesswork and overwhelm so they can launch and grow their e-commerce business. Over the past 20 years, I've been into import and export business and have seen behind the scenes of product manufacturing as well as sourced hundreds of products. I've been on both sides of the business, whether it's clothing, accessories, or homewares. I've had hands-on experience with it all. I have discovered what it really takes to successfully source products, what works, and more importantly, what doesn't, and the costly mistakes that one could avoid. How to turn that great product idea into a tangible reality easily, effectively, and profitably, and what sourcing strategies will help you not only find the best suppliers in India, but also go through the sourcing process as smoothly as possible. This is what the podcast is all about. Whether you're just starting out or looking to diversify your sourcing to India, you are in the right spot. I'm here to help you create the business you've always wanted by sourcing amazing products from India. Let's get started. Hey, productpreneurs, welcome back to Sourcing from India podcast. I am so glad you're here for episode 2 today. I've been thinking about the best way I can support you and all the amazing information that I can share here to help support your product sourcing journey. Also, it's really important for me that in this day and age of booming e-commerce business, aspiring entrepreneurs with big dreams do not have to struggle to get started. This episode is all about how you can start sourcing your products from India on the right foot and to help you identify what you need to know, the key steps you need to take so you are well prepared to source your products. So let's get started. The idea of finding amazing products, working with skilled artisans or manufacturers and bringing your vision to life, it's all so thrilling. But if you jump into sourcing without a plan, without your groundwork, things can go wrong very quickly. I was talking to someone recently who had this incredible idea for an eco-friendly homeware brand. She was so passionate about sustainability, wanted to source handmade products from India. She found a supplier online, got a great price, and placed her first order. Now, when her shipment arrived, it was a total disaster. The product supplied was far from her requirements, packaging was done incorrectly, quality was poor. She was devastated. But here's the thing, this wasn't the supplier's fault. It was because she skipped some really important steps before placing the order. And that's what we are going to talk about today. I want you to be prepared so you don't end up in that situation. So if you've been wondering how to start sourcing from India the right way, this episode is for you. Now, a common mistake I see people make, particularly ones just starting out, is jumping straight from a product idea to finding and contacting suppliers. But sourcing isn't just about finding a supplier and placing an order. It's about being fully prepared so that when you do reach out, you're confident and you are ready to make informed decisions. You need to be sourcing ready, as what I call it, before you get started. So what does being sourcing ready mean? It means having all your groundwork in place, conducting research, knowing exactly what you want, what your numbers are, how to communicate your expectations clearly, knowing all about quality, testing requirements, and much more. This will save you so much time, money, and stress. So let's get started and break it down step by step. The very first thing is understanding your costs. So many people underestimate how much it really takes to start an e-commerce business. They assume they can just start small with a few $100s and figure it out as they go. Then reality hits and then you go, oh wait, I need to pay for samples, or shipping cost is turning out really high. Oh, I've got import duties to pay. Then you need to pay graphic designer for your branding and packaging requirements, working out warehousing options and the costs involved, and maybe even marketing or website setup that you need to outsource. There are so many additional expenses along the way and it all adds up really fast. You have to know and map out every cost involved so you are not caught off guard. Next, before you even think about sourcing your product, you need to conduct market research and validate your product idea. Is there demand for your product? Who are your competitors? How much are they selling their products for? What are customers saying in the reviews? Are there any design flaws that you can improve upon? How are you going to make your product stand out from what's already selling in the marketplace? If you don't do this research, you might end up sourcing something that either has no demand or is impossible to price competitively. You also should know your target selling price, your ideal profit margin, the maximum price you can afford to pay to your supplier in order to make profit. This will help you negotiate confidently and avoid overpaying. Then there's branding and packaging. Your brand isn't just a logo. It's the entire experience your customers have with your product. And trust me, branding matters a lot. Before you start reaching out to suppliers, you should have your brand name, logo, packaging design sorted. Why? Because firstly, if you don't have a brand, it's highly unlikely that suppliers will take you seriously. And if you have a website register, that's even better. Also, suppliers need your packaging details to give you an accurate quote and to confirm if they can actually meet your custom packaging requirement. When you have all of this ready upfront, you'll move through the sourcing process much faster and much more smoothly. Next thing to get right is your product specifications. This is where most sourcing mistakes happen. If you don't clearly define your product, the supplier will make assumptions, and trust me, their assumptions might not match yours. Imagine ordering ceramic mugs but forgetting to specify the weight and thickness. Your supplier assumes you want something lightweight but you wanted something sturdy. Now you've got flimsy mugs supplied and delivered to you, and there is no easy fix. That's why you need a detailed product specification sheet or a tech pack for clothing products that outlines everything from size, material, colors with Pantone numbers, finish, embellishments, labeling, packaging, and even reference images. If you leave out any details, you're just setting yourself up for back and forth emails, miscommunication, disappointment, and eventually waste of time and money. You also need to figure out your minimum order quantities and how much can you buy. Many sellers don't realize that pricing depends entirely on how many units you order. The more you buy, the lower the cost per unit, and vice versa. You need to figure out your MOQ and ask supplier to provide quotes based on that. And ideally, 3 options of quantities so you can see how pricing changes with quantity. It is also very important to have your quality standards defined. Quality is subjective, and if you don't define it, you can blame the supplier for giving you something different. If you're selling kitchenware, it needs to be food safe, for example. If you're selling clothing, fabric should pass dimensional stability and color fastness tests, for example. Research what quality standards apply to your product category and communicate them upfront. Include all details in the purchase order and never skip quality control inspections. This is the biggest mistake I see people make. Even if you trust your supplier, mistakes happen. You should plan for at least a pre-shipment inspection to make sure everything meets your specs before it leaves the factory. You can either hire a third-party inspection company or an independent agent, and honestly, it's worth every penny. It can save you from receiving a shipment full of defective goods. I know someone who skipped inspections on a repeat shipment to save money, thinking the first shipment was great and it's the same supplier, so it should be all good. But when the shipment arrived, half the products were faulty. She had to issue refunds, replace products, and it ate up all her profit. So do not take that risk. And the last important thing you need to know is the import duty and taxes you'll need to pay to import your product. Every country has different regulations, different requirements, different import duty and taxes applicable, and you don't want to be shocked by unexpected import fee. Before you finalize an order, calculate all the costs involved so you know exactly how much you'll be paying and whether you'll be still making a profit on the product. Okay, so to sum it up, if you want to start sourcing from India the right way, you need to do your groundwork. Map out your costs, research your market, define your brand, create detailed product specs, set your order quantities, define your quality and testing standards, plan for inspections, find out how much cost is involved. Take into account your import duties and taxes. Once you have all of this in place, the actual process of sourcing will be so much smoother. I hope this episode gave you a clear roadmap to follow and how you can be sourcing ready. If you found this helpful, let me know. I'd love to hear what topics you want me to cover next. And if you're ready to start sourcing from India, do subscribe because we have so much more to talk about in the upcoming episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one. And as always, happy sourcing.